Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video on the Moopa Troopa channel. I am Max Rappaport, and today I am going to be playing a little more modern, continuing with some Through the Breach strategies, Through the Breach and Yggdrasil. Just finished a league with the blue-red version of the deck, and I thought to myself, well, what is this deck missing? How can I improve it? And this is what I came up with. I like having faster starts, so I'm running some Strike It Rich and some Faithless Looting. These also, well, they fix your draws early on, and they can also allow you to loot away an Ulamog to exile with Yggdrasil and then return it. Unfortunately, you can't do that with Emrakul, but there really isn't a better target for Through the Breach anyway, so I'm okay with a little bit of a Nombo if it helps in other ways. I also took out the blue because there was really only blue in the sideboard, and I thought it wasn't the most useful. There are other red cards that work, so just being more consistent might help. And yeah, I also wanted to try out Palantir because it feels very, very good with Yggdrasil. Also, just another thing to cheat out on turn 2. Not necessarily cheat out, but play fast with either the 4 Strike It Rich or the 4 Ugin's Labyrinth. It's another very good card to play out a turn early. And yeah, they really can't let you mill the cards because it will just kill them. You have so many expensive cards, so they have to let you draw and scry, which helps you find your combo and kill people. Of course, for Kozilek's Command, as it's an Eldrazi deck. A few Thought-Knot Seers for some hand interaction. The Through the Breaches, Devourer of Destiny to fix your early draws. And then I have 4 Eldrazi Temple, 4 Ugin's Labyrinth, 3 Ramunap Ruins as a dual land for wastes and mountains, but also maybe can deal some damage to your opponents. I don't think that's going to be super relevant, but it could be. A couple Pinnacle Monks, who I wanted to try this card out. It gets back Through the Breach as well as Kozilek's Command. Maybe occasionally a Looting or a Strike It Rich, but those seem a little bit worse to get back, but yeah, that seems pretty powerful, because those Kozilek's Command is a very good card. As many as you can get, you really want to draw. If you could play 5 or 6, you definitely would. And then a Volokot Awakening to loot away some unnecessary cards. In the sideboard, we have 3 Trinisphere for Storm, anything that wants to play a lot of stuff very quickly. 3 Blood Moon as well for the mostly Amulet Titan. All it really does bad for me is turn off Kozilek's Command, but I figure if it's going to win me the game, if I can get it out on turn 2, then it's probably still right to play it. I have 3 Obsidian Charmaw for other Eldrazi decks, other non-basic land decks. Anything I need to kill their lands in, this can come in. 3 Meltdown for the Mox Opal decks, which are very prevalent right now, and 3 Pyroclasm for energy and other decks with little creatures. But yeah, that is the list. So let's get into some matches. I'm very excited to try that out. I love mono red big stuff decks. This isn't really stompy or like big red. It's not exactly that. It's more of a combo deck, but it definitely has some elements of the mono red prison deck in Legacy and maybe the Eldrazi deck. So I'm excited to try it out and see what we can do with it. Let's get into the matches. On the play here for match number 1, let's see what we can get with this deck. So this is looking to be a pretty good hand. I have some fast mana, I have a Faithless Looting, and I need to find either a Through the Breach or a Yggdrasil, but I have a Devourer and a Faithless Looting to try and do that. So let's see if we can. Opponent is also on 7. I will perform opening hand actions. Let's look at the top 4. I will choose a Yggdrasil. Go to my main phase, play Mystic Peak. I will pay the 3 life, and loot away the Ulamog so that I can get it back with Yggdrasil, and I suppose Devourer. Can't loot away the Emrakul because I need it for the Ugin's Labyrinth, and if I do put it into my graveyard, it'll shuffle everything in, which I really don't want here. And yeah, they start on a Lush Portico. I'm hoping to just get a turn 3 kill. Let's see if we can find another land. It is a Through the Breach instead. But let's go ahead and play an Emrakul, or put an Emrakul underneath this Labyrinth, and then go ahead and just play Yggdrasil. Hope to find an untapped land for next turn. If I do, I can put an Ulamog the Defiler into play and kill my opponent. If I don't, I can play a Talisman and activate it. I guess I should mill 3 with this. So I won't get rid of it. I won't F6 through my turn just yet. Let's see what the opponent does. It is a White Orchid Phantom. A little bit unfortunate. It's going to be able to kill my Ugin's Labyrinth, which does suck a little bit, but I can just get a Mountain and exile 3 cards with Yggdrasil. Don't find anything super great. Find an Eldrazi Temple with that. I think I want to play it a little slow and just go for the Thought-Knot Seer so that I don't get hit again with something good, or Collector Oofed. It's possible they have something to kill this if I just go for the Talisman to try and kill them next turn. So they're going to Solitude, but I'm alright with that, and they're doing it in response to the trigger. Again, I'm alright with that. I just don't want them to kill Yggdrasil. They do have a Witch Enchanter, so let's just take that out of their hand and pass the turn. They attack for 2. I guess I maybe should have taken the Solitude as well. And they ephemerate this, but I am playing a mono-red deck, so pretty okay to just go and get more mountains. They do it again, which, again, I'm okay with. I have quite a few mountains in this deck. Sure. They have Solitude and 1 unknown in hand. I draw an Emrakul, which, honestly, not the worst draw. Do I want to Looting or Talisman? I think just Talisman and set up for the kill next turn. I guess I should have exiled more cards with the Yggdrasil, although I don't think it matters too much. Opponent gets a Lush Portico, and where do they put it? Protection from spells that are 1 or more colors. Interestingly enough, does not protect against Solitude, but this one is pretty good against Solitude. Opponent chooses not to rebound both of them. They put the card on top, though, so hopefully it's not a Witch Enchanter. But if it is, and I find another land, I will be able to just Emrakul them. They get in for 2. Sure thing. I will mill over 3 cards. Find nothing great to put into play. I do already have the Ulamog, though, so it only makes them sacrifice 1 permanent. But I think it's still the right play to just get this Solitude out of their hand and make them sacrifice a permanent. So let's put in Ulamog. 15 counters on it, also gain a lot of life, so I'm not really worried about dying early anymore. They evoke a Solitude. Makes sense. Exiling a 3rd Ephemerate. That's gone. Ward sacrifice 2 permanents, so I guess a land and another Solitude, which is still pretty good for me. And the nice thing about Yggdrasil is I can just keep doing this. They end up sacrificing the White Orchid Phantom, which, and wow, playing out a Witch Enchanter. Because they drew the 3rd one, so 3 Witch Enchanters drawn. They do get to get rid of the Yggdrasil, but I am not too worried about that right now. I can just go for a Palantir and start playing it slow. I would like both of these. They give me a land, so that's probably game over. They find a Haywire Mite and kill... What are they killing? The Palantir. So yeah, I believe that's game over. And it looks like Ramunap Ruins is going to come in clutch here. Although I probably would have won this game anyway, just by Annihilator fixing them out of the game. So let's Through the Breach and Emrakul and win game number 1. All right, against White Weenie. I think I just want the Pyroclasms, and I don't necessarily want the Thought-Knot Seers. I don't think those are great here. I guess I could cut some number of Yggdrasil as well. I think Through the Breach is going to be a little bit better against them. And as is the just Eldrazi ramp plan. But, yeah, let's leave in a couple Thought-Knot Seers and cut. Well, it's just I can turn to it, which is still so good. I could also cut a Palantir. Well, I guess I could cut a Talisman on the draw, just because it's likely they have a Collector Oof and a Green Suns. But yeah, let's submit this, trimming a couple not super relevant cards, and on the draw for game number 2. Up a game right now. Okay, so 1 land, but I have a Strike It Rich and a Devourer and a Faithless Looting. So doesn't look like the worst thing. The best card for me to find would be Ugin's Labyrinth. I suppose I'll take a Pyroclasm as well. So let's draw Pyroclasm. Let's play a Mystic Peak, and I think just loot this turn, discarding Devourer and maybe Talisman? No, I think I want the Talisman. I could discard Strike It Rich, I guess. Or I could discard Palantir or Kozilek's Command. I think it should be maybe one of these card draw spells, and I think Palantir is just going to be worse than Kozilek's Command in most scenarios. Because I'd like to go Talisman into Strike It Rich next turn, and then set up for either a Pyroclasm, or if I find something... Okay, there is the Oof. So now it's just going to be a Pyroclasm from me this turn. Sweep some stuff away, and set up for next turn. Hopefully not another Oof, but they could also, I suppose, Renegade Rallier, a Haywire Mite, and an Arid Mesa. So... let's just go ahead and pass. And fire off a big Kozilek's Command. To try and find a big Eldrazi for this Through the Breach, although currently there's nothing large exiled for an Ulamog, so it'd have to be an Emrakul. But that's probably not the hardest thing to find. They get an Ocelot Pride. Sure. And attack me for 1. I will take it. And look for some goodies with this Kozilek's Command. Okay. Take 1 damage. They might have a Solitude as well. I think I just want the spawns, though, and the scries. I can also just start finding, like, Devourers and stuff and start casting those. To just win the fair plan. Do I have enough mana? Yes, I do. So let's bottom that, then top, untap, draw a card, go to main, I will start with a Thought-Knot Seer, attempt to take their Solitude away, and then through the Breach and Emrakul. Let's see if we can get that to work. Okay, they have double Solitude. So... still gonna cast it. Take one Solitude. They have to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff, and I get to gain a bunch of life. I also have a Faithless Looting in the graveyard, and just bigger creatures than them in general. So what'd they get rid of? The Ephemerate. No, they kept the Ephemerate, right, because they can Ephemerate their Ranger Captain. Okay, so that is pretty annoying. Maybe I should have held off. Annoying they had double Solitude. I thought I had the play around to get around that, but I guess not yet. I do get to Faithless Looting next turn, though, which is not the worst. And I have a lot of card draw in this deck. Maybe they start sacking these Ranger Captains. We'll see. They get an Ocelot Pride. So they're going to start to go around me, try and go wide. And I am going to flashback a Faithless Looting. Find Palantir and Mountain. So let's get rid of those two. Go ahead and play Talisman and pass the turn. Hopefully they fire off this Haywire Might on my Talisman. Because, yep, otherwise it's going straight to the Palantir. I definitely have a lot of good draws here, though. They might just want to start gaining life. Or, I guess, yeah, I think they messed up here. They could have got Guide of Souls pre-playing the Ocelot Pride. Okay, so they're down to 0 cards in hand. And, okay, cool. They're going to go ahead and kill that, which gives me the opportunity to Palantir here. There's also a Devourer of Destiny, which is probably just going to be better. 6, 7, exactly enough to do it. So let's do this and get rid of the Guide of Souls. I think is the better one here. I guess they get to Ephemerate for another one. But they can't double Pride me now. And they do have to find another way to get a creature into play. I guess they could draw one. But, yeah. Okay, they find a Temple Garden, so that's not a creature. And they can't gain life this turn. And I draw another Palantir, so now I can go Palantir and can't flash back the Strike It Rich, unfortunately. I can get in with this. They double block with their Ranger Captains, that's okay. Okay, they take 6. I scry 2. I'll go, I guess, top, and then either way I'll draw the Pyroclasm next turn. They mill it, take 10, and now they're going to have to jump. Okay, they have an Ocelot Pride, so sure, they're going to make a bunch of cats, gain a bunch of life, but I'm drawing a Pyroclasm, so it doesn't matter too much to me. I guess they can sack the Ranger Captain. Yeah, maybe they do that. They probably got to start doing that, in all honesty. Okay. Bunch of things in play. Upkeep. Draw. Main phase? Okay. I will cast Pyroclasm. And I'll just attack with the big guy. See what they do. I mean, they could have started sacking the Ranger Captains, but it would have been hard for them to win with that. We were finding some big stuff pretty soon. So yeah, easy. Not necessarily easy, but a nice first match win where we played through, honestly, quite a lot of hate. The Oof, some Solitudes, and in match 1, triple Knight of the White Orchid, or Knight Phantom of the White, whatever that one's called. Knight of the White Phantom, the one that destroys my lands. But I don't think that card is great against me, considering I have 5 mountains in the deck, which worked out. I was considering playing less for more Mystic Peaks or Ruins, but worked out. See how match number 2 goes. On the draw here in match number 2, with kind of a hand that is too slow. Keep, I think, so let's send it back and look for something a little bit quicker. Yeah, this one's definitely quicker. So I will keep it for sure. I think I'm putting back Talisman. And then hoping to find some big stuff to get with Through the Breach. I could also put back Devourer, but just the ability to reveal it and look at the top 4 is so good that I think I'm just going to put back the Talisman, see what I can find with it. Have turn 1 Strike It Rich for a turn 2 Palantir, or maybe something else if I find it. If I find a Yggdrasil, that would be another pretty good one to put into play. But we'll see, I guess. This is possibly Mardu or the Hollowine deck or something like that. Looks like I'm getting Thought Seized, which is annoying. But we'll see what they take. They could take this to try and get my red source out of hand, which they are going to do, which I don't know if that's the best play when I get to look at the top 4 to try and find another one. Unfortunately, I don't, but this is keeping this Ugin's Labyrinth is still going to allow me to play a turn 2 Palantir. So let's just do that. Take this so they can't Thought Seize it, and go for the turn 2 Palantir anyway. Probably on Mardu Energy here, but not 100% sure. There's a mountain, so looking like I'm right. And a Johnny on turn 2. That's fine with me. God, I do not miss Amped Raptor. Okay, so I think it's going to be better for me to start off with the Palantir, maybe mill something big into the yard, and go for a Yggdrasil. We'll see what they do. I think I'm just going to mill both of these. I don't really want one. We'll see if they blind flip. They do take one and get another card that I don't really want out of the way. So again, that's fine with me. And then I can set up for Yggdrasil plus Palantir. See if we can get some good stuff done with that. They play another Ajani, flip the first one. They're now going to have 6 power of Cat Warrior tokens. But that is not necessarily unbeatable. I guess they can plus, yeah. Okay, so they plus shoot an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. Okay, so I only get to keep one of each thing. Let's play Yggdrasil. And pass the turn. Palantir will trigger. They don't want either of those. Not really finding anything. They are going to hopefully mill an Ulamog or an Emrakul. Maybe they let me draw. Okay. They mill 2 cards, take 4 damage. And we'll see what I can find with Yggdrasil here. Hopefully find an untapped land. They find an Ocelot Pride. And are they going to... They're going to Flage me and maybe minus the Ajani. The minus is pretty good here. Kind of scary stuff. And yeah, I'm probably dead next turn, so I really just have to hope and pray. Those are my outs here. We'll see what exactly they do. Kind of stumbled a little bit. I guess the Thought Seize on the red source. I don't even know if it was necessarily the best play, but it worked out against me. So I need to exile something good, and I find the good thing to exile. Which I have, I guess, the biggest exiled thing. Oh no, it counts itself. So now I just need to top deck untapped land? and just barely miss it, which is quite unfortunate. I believe I just die now unless they mess up on this Palantir trigger. Bottom, bottom. Hope they mill me for 3, but I don't know why they would. Alright. The next card. But, yeah, gonna lose game 1. Opponent thought seized a land, and that was pretty good against me. So let's board in the Pyroclasms, take out 1 Thought-Knot Seer, and I think taking out a couple Yggdrasil is okay, because everybody's going to board in artifact removal against me. So let's take out 1 on the play, maybe just 1, and then... guess I could take out a Strike It Rich, but that seems pretty good on the play. Let's board out another Thought-Knot Seer. Maybe on the play I just want all the Yggdrasils. But yeah, hopefully a mix of Pyroclasms to slow them down and Through the Breaches to kill them is good enough to get it done here. Starting off with a solid hand. We'll see what I can find with this Faithless Looting on turn 1. And maybe go for a turn 4 Through the Breach with this Emrakul. Or this Ulamog. Don't have anything exiled currently, but maybe I can find something. We shall see, I suppose. Maybe they exile something as well. I'm on 7. Opponent is still deciding. But yeah, I think if I'm on the play that last game, it goes very differently. If I'm allowed to Strike It Rich turn 1, I'd just be so much faster. So let's loot. Let's get rid of a Palantir and... probably just a Talisman. Pass the turn. Let them Thought Seize me. I mean, hopefully not, they don't thought... hopefully no Thought Seize here, but we shall see. Looking like a Thought Seize. I guess it could be any of their 1-drops, really. It is a Thought Seize, so they could take Talisman, they could take Palantir. They take Talisman to just slow me down. I find another Eldrazi Temple, but it does slow me down a turn, or I can Palantir here. And Thoughtseize again is very annoying. I do have this looting, though, to hopefully dig me a little bit deeper into some more action. Maybe I'm supposed to just discard this earlier so that these Thoughtseize aren't as devastating, but we'll see what we can do. They're not necessarily the fastest deck if they start with turn 2 Thoughtseize. Also a lot of kind of nothing going on from them. That's not the worst draw, because if I find another another double land, I can play it. Let's discard these 2 and go for a kill in 2 turns if I can find a land. Again, waiting on the 4th one. But we'll see what they can do. They're not off to the fastest start. Again, they did double Thoughtseize me. And a Stony Silence. Brava. From my opponent. So, yikes. I can Strike It Rich, flashback, but that doesn't help at all. Because it is turned off with Stony Silence currently, so do I kind of have... I might just have to... I might just have to try and find another land, or another redrop. Let's play Yggdrasil out, or another 7-drop. Play Yggdrasil out to exile a creature from my yard. Play Ugin's Labyrinth as well, not exiling anything. And pass the turn. I guess it's better to hold it. If I find an Emrakul or an Ulamog, I can just kill them with it. But let's see what they do on their next turn. Hopefully no more hand attack, but we shall see. I'd take a looting as well here. Just a Flage. Lightning Helix my face. Hit me for 2 more down to 11, and then make a third cat. Not dead yet. And a Pyroclasm is a pretty good draw. So let's just wipe the board and pass the turn. And hope to find a land at some point. And, well, sometimes they top deck the best draw. Oh, I forgot to put Graveyard Hate in my sideboard. Yeah, I'm not beating Flage here. I guess good on them. I needed that Kozilek's command 1 turn earlier, or this Ramanop Ruins. Really, there was a lot of stuff that saves me here, but, yeah, maybe ran a little bit cold, and they ran pretty hot. So let's get into the third one, and see what we can get done. Match 3 here on the play with an awesome Through the Breach Eldrazi deck. Starting off with a very good hand, too. Let's see what we can find with this Devourer. And also this looting to get the game started off right. Been hoping to get as many turn 3 kills as possible, as this deck is very, very capable of doing that. Seems very powerful so far. The last match against Mardu Energy honestly felt a little bit unlucky to me. I'm sure it's an even... I'm not sure of anything yet. This is very early in the testing of this deck, but it didn't seem like a hard matchup. It just felt like they had the right cards at the right time. They top decked an Arena of Glory as their 4th land to put a Flage into play. Do I want any of these? I guess I could take a 3rd land, but I'll probably find something. I think I'd just say no. Nope, don't want those. So let's see what we can get here. There's the 3rd land. Let's discard Ulamog, because we now have that with Yggdrasil. And I guess Devourer. It's not super relevant here. And yeah. We have Kozilek's command on turn 2 for X equals 1, which isn't the most useful, but might need it on something. There's another Kozilek's command, so feeling pretty safe to just fire this one off now to maybe just get a little bit of value. Opponent cracks a fetch land. Scary stuff going on over there. Get a Lush Portico, so possibly one of the domain decks. They do this into Xander's Lounge, maybe Rhinos, which is another deck that I've been testing a bit, and deck that I love. Hopefully making a video on that one soon as well. But let's see what opponent is up to. Right now it looks like nothing. So let's just go for the Kozilek's command, try 1 draw card, and make a little guy. Just to, let's say we get Fire Iced or something along the lines of that. Just make sure we can run out this Yggdrasil. Do I want to strike it rich? I don't think so. Find an Eldrazi Temple. Pretty good one here. And yeah, we get to just play a Yggdrasil and pass the turn. I guess I could have waited and then gone for doing all of it in 1 turn. But that still doesn't get around, like, Leyline Binding. So I don't know if it's worth it. But, yeah, we'll see what we can get done here. If they don't have anything to answer this Yggdrasil, then I will just be able to Ulamog them, but they do have the Leyline Binding, which makes sense. So they get to kill that. Maybe put some Rhinos into play, maybe do something else. Play a Teferi. We'll see, I guess. I do have some more gas in the tank. I'm not out of it yet. So glad Beanstalk is banned. I know that one's been gone for a while, but god, is it a miserable card to play against. Standard as well. Right. So they're just passing to me. And they're gonna ice me on upkeep. Sure. I think I mind that too much. Let's play Ramanop. And which do I want to die less? I think I'd rather have Yggdrasil than Palantir here. So let's just play the Palantir. See what our opponent does. If they have another Leyline Binding, they can get rid of it. Other than that, feeling pretty confident here. But game's not over. Not over till it's over. I don't know if they run any 4-drops. I don't think they do. They have Flage. That's not really a 4-drop unless it's in your graveyard. But yeah, they could have forces, they could have subtleties, stuff like that. Just top. I'm okay if they mill me and take 7, and then I have a Kozilek's Command on top. I feel like Kozilek's Command is just like the best card in the deck. I guess I could have bottomed it. I kind of would rather have a Devourer in play. But next turn going Yggdrasil and Hold Up K Command is going to be pretty nice. And they're going to have to start letting me draw cards, which is going to let me set up the top of my deck pretty nicely with this Yggdrasil. Sure. Alright, you got some big guys. Some big rhinoceroses. And I have 2 Kozilek's commands. Let's just play that out and play Yggdrasil. Maybe getting Force of Negation did. But I guess that's okay with me. I have these Kozilek's commands to answer some rhinos. And I have this Palantir to keep the gas a-comin'. And yeah, they kind of can't mill me anymore, because there's just such a high chance of them dying. Right, 2 Force of Negation down. Pass the turn. Palantir triggers. Bottom that one. Top that one. I think I'm pretty happy to draw through the breach here. They let me. So now if I find an Eldrazi with this Kozilek's command, I can just put it into play right away. With either of these Kozilek's commands, I'm going to have a lot of chances. So unless they have another force, I feel like it's going to be pretty hard for them to get me here. But we'll see. I think knowing that, I'm just going to play it a little bit slow. Going to block this and then sacrifice it to add a mana. Go ahead and exile a creature and draw some cards. So exile, creature, draw some cards. Or draw a card, but scry quite a few. I find a bottom, and a top. So let's do that. Take 4. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Opponent suspends a Footfalls. And do they have an answer to this Through the Breach? I guess we'll find out. I got 5 lands and I got a Through the Breach. So I'm gonna do it. See if they have the 3rd Force of Negation. They do not. Can you beat Annihilator 10? Guess they could have a removal spell for it, a tap spell for it. There's the few things they could have. It is a Leyline Binding, sure. So sack 2 permanents. Whichever ones you want. They choose a land and a Shardless Agent. I guess trying to put more rhinos into play makes sense. I will play out this land and put these triggers on the stack. Scry 2. Let's bottom, I think. Ah, they chose to mill me, which is probably a mistake regardless, but yeah. Okay. So, up against rhinos, still kind of have nothing to board in. I guess I could try out these blood moons, but I feel like those are better in matchups where, like, I really, really need the blood moons, whereas, like, here, maybe it messes up their mana, but it could also mess up my mana. Let's just submit again. I'm looking to play around their Obsidian Charmaws coming in, and probably some Force of Vigors. So Through the Breach is the way to go here. Is this hand too slow? Or is it just barely squeaking by? I think it's just barely squeaking by because maybe they keep a Charma hand and they can't even kill anything. Or play it ever, and I do have a Faithless Looting. If I can find an Emrakul or Ulamog with the looting, put it into the graveyard, and hopefully go for a turn 4 win with the Yggdrasil. But we shall see. They're on a Multa 6, Multa 5 game 1, I believe, which is rough, but what you gonna do? We had some mulligans in previous matches, so happens to everybody. Let's play a... Oh, not a bad draw there. Currently don't have the colorless to cast it, but maybe can find some stuff. Let's get rid of a Yggdrasil, and... Can I ever get rid of Kozilek's Command? I think I can. I think I'd rather have another land. Yeah. Just discard the stuff I have 2 of. Go for a Talisman next turn. And see what my opponent does here. Probably gonna get iced, I would guess. Which I'm fine with. And then they can play some rhinos, and I can play a Yggdrasil, and hopefully they have no more interaction. Here's a Palantir, not the worst draw. Honestly hoping they don't have rhinos. It might be a little... I might be too slow to beat them with this draw. Yeah, very sweet deck is the Rhinos one. Just hold up 0 mana interaction and play 10 power for 3 mana. My kind of deck. But I'm happy to get some testing against it, because I do think that deck could be pretty good right now, honestly. With no more ring for, like, insane go over the top value, it's a lot easier to make Force of Negations plus other card advantage work. There's an Ardent Plea. So they're getting some rhinos out here. Let's see if we can glean anything. Oh, so they are the Leyline Scion version. I have not been running Leyline Scion. I personally think it's a little too win more in the rhinos deck. I think it's better to just have more interaction, and I don't know. I feel like 4 power on turn 2 with a 2-card combo is kind of not what you want to be doing in the deck that's all about playing efficient stuff. Like, if you just have one of the pieces, it's just sometimes not good enough. I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe you need it, but, I think it's just a worse version of Zoo if you're doing that. I don't find anything with this Yggdrasil, so let's see what we can get going this turn. Again, not really anything. But I will attempt to find something with the Palantir. Kind of have to go for it this turn. It's kind of a slow draw. Maybe it wasn't the best keep. Gonna bottom both of these. Just get as close as possible to Yggdrasil. They're risking it. Risking it for the biscuit. But yeah, I would have preferred to draw that one. I guess they see that I'm missing a land, and they're probably correct in doing what they did. Hopefully not getting Brotherhoods ended here. We shall see, though. Sacred Foundry. Untapped into pass. So 4 mana up. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty dead here. But we try. Okay. Can probably give up now. They're playing, what is this? 4 mana, Force of Vigor. Okay, yeah, let's go to the third game. Not a lot of ways for me to get around that. Definitely don't want Blood Moon now. I guess I could board in Trinisphere. Yeah, maybe Trinisphere is okay. Stops their rhinos from happening, but I gotta be so bad against the all my spells cost more than 3 deck. They're just hitting land drops. They'll get there eventually. I think I need the fast start, which this kind of is, I guess. 2 Devourers to dig me pretty darn deep. And a Volakut Awakening that I can cast on turn 2 to get rid of some not useful stuff. Try and dig for a Breach and a fast kill. Might be able to turn 3 with this hand. We'll see. I think Breach is my best win condition in this matchup. When just post-sideboard, everybody's bringing in Artifact Hate for me, and I just don't care as much if I can find a Through the Breach. Alright, so what I'm looking for is Through the Breach and another Ugin's Labyrinth. I guess if I could just pick one, it'd have to be the Through the Breach. So let's take that and take it again and start off with an Ugin's Labyrinth, getting rid of one of these Devourers. Alright. Pass the turn. Through the Breach is on top of my deck, and I am looking for quite a few more cards before I can cast it. I'd love to find another Ugin's Labyrinth to try and go for it on turn 3. We'll see if that works out or not. There's the Breach. Let's play Ramunap Ruins and pass the turn. Just gonna put away 1, 2 with this Volakut Awakening and draw 3. I don't think these cards are super relevant here. Oh, I guess I should have exiled the Emrakul just so I have Annihilator 15 rather than just Annihilator 10. Probably not super relevant, but you never know. They put a Crashing Footfalls into the yard. Is pretty good for them. A little surveil value, but I don't think that's exactly what this matchup is about. And they're not going to have Domain, so I don't know exactly what answers they could have if I'm able to do some big stuff this turn. Put back 1, 2, say okay. Draw 3. Do find the Labyrinth, but I guess now I'm in need of one more big thing. Okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna go for it, right? I might as well. Turn 3 through the breach. You got a force a negation? Or are you gonna die? They probably... I mean, if they have force, they gotta do it. This is a fast start for me. Okay. They force it. That's fine. I can start devouring in a couple turns. Hoping they don't... Hoping that was their only way to make rhinos, and they're not charming me. Getting Charmod. Oh boy. Not going great for me now. Alright. Sure. They have a ley line binding, presumably, as well. Oh, okay. Kozilek's command is a pretty good one. Pass the turn. Kozilek's command for 3 available. See if they charm on me again. Or maybe they're out of stuff to do. Say ouch, take 4. Maybe they just flage me. What I'm hoping for. They pass the turn, so let's draw and make guys. Hopefully not getting Force of Negation again. But that's kind of what it feels like here with them fetching the way they did. And I think it's correct by them to get rid of the Ardent Plea rather than a second force. Hey, why are we waiting so long? Do it. Maybe this is... No, it's not going to be Consign. They can't run that card. Really not sure what this is. Okay. Okay, it is the Force. Unfortunate that Force exiles, as I'm not able to get that back with the Pinnacle Monk if I did draw, like, a mountain or something. But, yikes. I don't think I can play the Pinnacle Monk as a land here. Like, that's not contributing towards any game plan that I really have right now. So let's just pass. They get in for 4 again. Play a land. And pass the turn. I will draw. There's the mountain. So that's something. I can play this Pinnacle Monk now. And get back Volakut Awakening. To try and get something going in a couple turns. What other good draws do I have? Not a ton, really. This 4/4 flyer is getting it done pretty quick. And another Charma is probably going to spell the end for me here. Need to find... I don't think there's anything I can find here. Yeah, that's going to do it. GG's on to match number 3. Full deck. Okay, match number 4 here on the draw. I think I'm going to keep it. I have a few ways to get some mana here. Only 1 land, but 2 Strike at Riches, so if I draw 1 or 2 more, then I'm able to start getting stuff done. Probably just have to go for the Through the Breach and pretend this Yggdrasil isn't in my hand. Looks like we're playing against the blue version of the deck. That's not the worst draw here. Now I can go for the turn 2 Yggdrasil, or I can just go for a turn 3 Breach if I find another land, which is probably going to be the move, honestly. See what they do. It's a Talisman of Creativity. So, find another Strike it Rich. So yeah, let's play a Strike it Rich, play a Strike it Rich, and pass the turn. see if we can get a Through the Breach down on them. They play Null Drifter. Sure. Sure. You can draw too. I'm happy to let you. Alright. And okay, get to keep one of these lands around now. Let's put them down to 4 life and 0 lands. A turn 3 Emrakul with haste through the breached. And that's going to do it. Let's go to game number 2. Board in these Obsidian Charmaz for... Is there even any removal in this deck? No, there's not. So Charma for... maybe Yggdrasil. I don't know what artifact removal they play, though. Maybe board out. I think everything else is pretty darn good. Palantir, maybe, is, like, too slow. Yeah... Let's board out a Palantir, an Yggdrasil, and... I guess I could do a Thought-Knot Seer. See, what am I actually worried about them having? I was just playing with their list. Honestly, not a ton. Probably just their own Thought-Knot Seers. Maybe Charmaw's just not as good as one might think, but I think it's pretty darn good still. Let's do a couple Palantirs on the draw. Deck's still in the works, still very early on for the archetype, so I don't know if my choices in this deck are correct. But I really like the deck so far. It's felt strong, just has not been performing perfectly. And I feel some of that is due to my draws. Maybe I could have built it a little bit better. Going to take Labyrinth here. So I can go Labyrinth, Imprint Devourer, play a Talisman, and turn 2 Charma my opponent if they play a good land. A non-basic land, yeah. Okay. They're stone braining me, which I don't even know what their plan is with that one. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Destroy a land. Pass. And feeling pretty good about my spot here, especially if they take a turn off to stone brain me. Whatever, man. What are you even taking? Okay. I guess through the breach, but sure. I draw a card. I'm okay with that. I run Yggdrasil as well. Not really a one-trick pony deck. Doing quite a few things. They named yet? They named through the breach. Sure thing. I'll loot it away. Would have been cool to go turn 2 land destruction into turn 3 through the breach. Had I had another big guy, but I already have one missing, another one in my hand, so Stonebrain not doing a ton here. And then I'm gonna get to Thought-Knot Seer them and play a Strike It Rich. And then I guess next turn I can Yggdrasil. Well, do I even want to? Do I just want to Yggdrasil this turn, or do I want to Thought-Knot Seer them? I think I want to just... Well, no. Let's Thought-Knot Seer them. Gotta be better. Strike It Rich. And Thought-Knot Seer. Take a... Okay, they can see. Yeah. Pretty quick match there against kind of the mirror, but I'll take them. Got a turn 3 through the breach, and turn 2 land destruction, so pretty fast starts from me, and keep this going, hopefully get a 3-2. On the play for match number 5 here, going for a 3-2. Let's see if we can get it done. This is a strange hand, but I do have turn 2 Palantir, so I think I'm going to keep it. Kind of 3 dead cards, but a pretty fast start with them. I just want to see, honestly, kind of test how good the Palantir really is. Could get switched out for... I don't know if there's other 3-drops I would want to play in its place. Could do Fable. Is definitely an option. Could kind of move away from the Eldrazi through the Breach plan and go more into a prison deck with just Devour for card advantage or card selection, and then maybe some other big things. Maybe there's some other good imprintables that go with that strategy a little bit better, but I think having a combo finish is pretty darn good in Modern right now. Let's see what we can find with this Palantir. We find Yggdrasil and Talisman. Do I want either of those? I think I just don't. We'll just try and find lands, try some stuff away. They let me draw, which is honestly a little bit surprising. But I guess it depends on what deck they're running. An Elegant Parlor leads me to believe energy, but we'll see. Surprised energy decks would still run Aether Hub after losing Amped Raptor. Oh wow, what is going on here? Energy, Faithless Looting. Looting away 2 Flages, I mean, that's pretty good. Oh, I guess this is a Jeskai Control variant, which maybe makes a little more sense why they would not take the damage from the Palantir, but honestly, not really. So let's just play Talisman out, and bottom top. They let me draw another Kozilek's Command, which is good for me. Go for a Plains and a Seasoned Pyromancer. Sure. Sure thing. Okay, loot away 2 lands. And pass the turn. This might just be Jeskai energy like aggro as well. Alright, well, I would like to find lands. So let's draw and get rid of those Flages. 1, 2. Yeah. I'd rather them loot than Flage. Doubt their Force of Negationing. Wow. 2 more Emrakul's. Don't want those. And a Pinnacle Monk. Let's just play that as a tapped land and pass. Through the Breach and Yggdrasil. Let's top. They take the damage this time, which is a little bit surprising, honestly, but oh well. This Palantir is putting in work here for me. I do have 4 kind of dead cards in my hand. Very good, I exiled those things. They're playing, I assume, another Pyromancer. Nope, a Johnny, and maybe another little creature. Could be a, nope. Just want to give the Ajani haste for 1 extra damage. Seems a little strange to me, but you want to do it, you want to do it. I'm not going to get in the way of that play. Okay, and they Galvanic Discharge their own Cat Warrior token. You have an Ajani. You have a cat. And I'm taking 2. Looking to find another Through the Breach. Palantir's not great. So I guess I just want to pass, holding up Kozilek's command for 3. Right. Palantir trigger. Let's bottom, just look for breaches. Find a Pinnacle Monk, which can get back a breach next turn. If I find a, whatchamacallit, a, Ukin's Labyrinth with this Kozilek's command, that'll be just enough mana to, Pinnacle Monk plus through the breach. But let's see what happens. Okay. Opponent. Gonna do something, or no, or yes, or just play a Steam Vents. Steam Vents untapped. Okay. I guess Faithless Looting. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they're looking for a 1-drop to play. Do they find it? They do. It is a Guide or Pride? Which one you got? Pride, sure. So let's go to their end step. Draw and make guys. Target myself with both. Have to find, I think, either Labyrinth or... There's Labyrinth. Let's see, just to make sure. Yeah, I have 10 mana. Labyrinth or Breach. But this Pinnacle Monk looking real good here. Oh, and now I can just 15 him too. So exile a Emrakul. Play a Pinnacle Monk. Get back through the breach and kill him. Wow. Awesome draw from me. Or awesome game for this deck. I'm very impressed with the resilience here. I had a lot of dead cards in hand too, and I was able to pull this one out. Palantir putting in work. And yeah, prowess trigger? An important one. Imagine I forgot that in paper. Brutal. Alright, I'll hit you with a 22/22 Ulamog. I mean, they solitude me here. I'm gaining 22 life. And probably able to still find another through the breach. Only one missing, so... Yeah, didn't think they had it, but okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So Pyroclasms are coming in, definitely. And what is coming out? I think, as usual, a Yggdrasil just gets worse after sideboarding. And Thought-Knot here is probably a little too slow. And yeah, let's go with that. Hopefully get some more fast kills. And beat up on Boros. I guess that was technically Jeskai energy. Maybe they're running Tameo? I honestly am not sure what the blue was for. I assume Mockingbird. But I don't know if Mockingbird is as good now that Amped Raptor is gone. I really wanted to... I was very interested in, before the bans, testing out a version of Jeskai energy that had Dovin's Veto in the board. Or just like fast matchups. Or ring decks, but I don't know how good Dovin's Veto is now. Just other blue cards, like Consign in the board seems really good. And now that you don't have Amped Raptor, you can kind of play counter spells a little easier because you're not worried about cascading into them. Right? Opponent goes for an Ocelot Pride. I will Strike it rich, and pass. Opponent plays Ajani. And makes another cat. Yikes. Fast start from them. That's why that deck is so powerful. I find a Through the Breach. So, do I want to just go for the combo next turn? Do I want to play Yggdrasil? I think I just want to play Yggdrasil and try and find some stuff to cheat into play 2 turns from now. Just activate it now. What do we hit? Nothing. Okay. Nothing yet. Next turn I can play an Eldrazi Temple and hit a big Kozilek's Command. Hopefully find some good stuff with that. Hopefully don't die before then, but Ajani hits hard and it hits fast. And a looting into Oculus. Plus Jolted Awake. That's cool. Very cool. Although, not a lot of discard outlets. It might be a little bit win more. Like, outside of Oculus, what are you really doing with Jolted Awake? You can just get back stuff people kill, but that's not that great. Okay, another Pride. So, getting very scary over there. And this is going to give them City's Blessing after the second one. So they get 4 cats here. A lot of cats. I guess I could dig for a Pyroclasm. Do I want to do that now? Do I want to do that next turn? I think I'm just looking to find it next turn. Activate this. There's an Emrakul. But, don't think that does it for me, really. They have so many little tokens. They might even get up to, they might even get up to 15 permanents. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. I suppose I take it and try to just wrath them next turn. Or find an Ulamog to kill. Static Prison, a Yggdrasil, that's fine. And another Ocelot. Okay, they're putting all their cards on the table. That's a lot of cats. Ew. How many is it? Oh god, it's almost crashing the game. Alright. Pyroclasm. I do have 3. Nope. Not a Pyroclasm. Not a Pyroclasm. Not a Pyroclasm. And not a Pyroclasm. So, I mean, maybe they mess up. I guess we'll go for them messing up. Nah. Oh, could I have Pinnacle Monked back? No, I don't have enough red for that. Oh, I don't have enough mana for this either. Okay. Let's go to that, whatever. Go to the next one. Okay. So, just wanted a Pyroclasm, really. Yeah, let's run it back. I'm pretty happy with the list that I have settled on. Good to be on the play, and would have been nice to draw Pyroclasm. Other than that, though, feeling pretty solid. Let's beat a good deck. We beat Breach and... Gosh, I forget what the first match was up against. It was against green-white something. Green-white creatures, green-white value, green-white hate bears. They definitely had green and white cards in their deck. And green-white ephemerate. I don't know exactly what their list looked like. We didn't get to see a ton of it. But yeah, this deck has felt powerful. Through the Breach is obviously a very powerful card. I think maybe I'm missing a couple mana sources. And that's like the biggest issue I've had so far, is maybe I want some more like just like, I don't know, utility lands. But I was looking through, there didn't seem to be a ton that like work really well with what this deck is trying to do. This is a turn 2 Yggdrasil. Let's go for the turn 1 Strike It Rich. And then that gives us one more look to find an Ulamog to put into the graveyard for this Yggdrasil. Opponent, Faithless Loots. That's fine. I'm not seeing... I'm not loving the Faithless Looting in that deck. I think it is just slowing them down too much. Alright. I mean, there it is. We'll go for the turn 3 kill, I guess. Let's discard Devourer. Imprint this Emrakul. And play a Yggdrasil? This is so sweet. I am loving this. No Stony Silence, come on! I want to get away with it. Playing a Johnny. You know you wanna. So sweet. What a... turn 2. Threatening to put an Ulamog into play. Turn 3 will be putting an Ulamog into play with no interaction from my opponent. Come on! I also have some, like, flashback stuff. I'm not out of gas yet. I have a Kozilek's Command. So, a lot of play left to what I can do. Opponent is deciding. Okay, Elegant Parlor is a good start for me. They put a Jolted Awake into the yard. And pass the turn. I will... Oh, I should have exiled stuff with this. I was just too excited to put an Ulamog into play. Yep. Ulamog. Alright. Are they gonna... I mean, doesn't even matter if they consign this trigger. Okie dokie. Well, that was an awesome turn 3 kill. And yeah, definitely want to tune this deck a little more. And gosh, maybe I'll look back on the matches and see what could have gone differently. But I think I was pretty close to winning even the ones that I lost. My opponents drew well, and it is a pretty linear deck. But I want to add some more ways to get around that sort of thing. Maybe more Thought-Knot Seers, maybe some other stuff. But yeah, loved this deck. Had a lot of fun. I hope everyone watching enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully some more of this deck, maybe some more other stuff. We'll see.